The biggest food critic in Africa, Okoyemi Famake, decided to be in his investor mode. And he said he had about 1.1 million naira in his stock portfolio that he wanted to invest, and we should tell him how he can invest it. I commented under the post, and a lot of people told me to shed more light on my comment, right? So I'm going to be doing that right now. Firstly, he's a low risk investor that wants somewhat of a good return, right? And at the same time, he wants to put it in stocks. So what do we do? Firstly, I'm going to say he should put about 400,000 naira into a US ETF, right? So he can just convert that money on the same app to invest in US stocks. So not just stocks, ETFs, because they are safer. What are ETFs? ETFs are basically baskets of different stocks you can invest in as one. So you can invest in the index funds like the S&P 500, as the VOO. This targets the top 500 companies in the US. Or you can buy the VTI. This targets all the companies in the US. So it's across different sectors. Basically, it's diversified. The volatility is lower. So you can put in about 200,000 naira there, and the other 200,000 naira from the 400,000 naira. You either put it in XLK or SMH. XLK is basically a pool of different tech companies brought together as one. An alternative to that is the QQQ, that's the Nasdaq 100, right? Where you can invest in tech companies as one. So instead of having Apple separately from Nvidia, separately from HP and all of that, you have them together as one. And even if one out of 20 is doing bad, the other 19 would balance it. So while for the SMH is semiconductor and AI chip producing companies. So these companies produces the chip used for AI, right? And we know how AI is the future, and tech is also the future in the US. And what are you going to do with the remaining 700,000 naira? You are going to split it across different sectors in the Nigerian stock. So instead of putting your money in one sector, and if that sector is doing bad or your money drops, right, you are going to spread it across so that if one sector is doing well, you can benefit from that sector too. So firstly, we have the agriculture or food producing companies. So we have the Presco, the Okumo, the Bua Foods and all of that. You can pick one of these because these three are the top giants for food production. And we know that this is a basic human need. So people must eat food. Secondly, I would want you to consider the consumer goods. Consumer goods are basic things we use every single day, right? For example, most of our toiletries are made by Unilever. So you can invest in companies like Unilever, like the Nestle. You can do PZ Cuisines. They make lots of toiletries and all of that. So there's also the Dangote Sugar. Number 3, you would want to consider the telecommunication. We know how we need data in this country. So no matter what happens, we need to buy data. And if you ask me, MTN and Airtel are like the two big ones in the stock markets that are a bit stable. But I would consider MTN instead because almost every Nigerian actually have an MTN number. Do you understand? And MTN is more stable compared to Airtel. Okay. So you would want to consider that for telecommunication. Number 4, you would want to consider the banking industry. No matter what happens, we need the banking industry for our day-to-day transactions, right? So you can pick top companies like the Access, the Fidelity, the UBA, the Zenith, and GT Bank, because these companies even give dividends between 7 to over 10% yield right now. So you can invest in at least one of them. Next option is the hospitality. Hospitality in the sense like things like hotels or even REITs that offer short-let apartments, especially towards December period, they make lots of money around that time because there are lots of bookings for hotels and short-lets in December. Number 5, we have the oil and gas industry. We know Nigeria is a major producer of the oil and gas industry. We have the likes of the Aradel, we have the likes of the Seplat, we have Eternal, we have the MRS, and so many more, right? So you can choose to invest in anyone that suits your need or anyone you prefer. If you ask me, I would pick Aradel, right? Lastly, that's the 7th one because we're investing across 7 different sectors. So you're doing 100,000 naira in each of them. The last one is construction companies and companies that sell things related to construction, like the Dangote Cement, the Bua Cement. And for construction, we have the likes of the UPDC. There's UPDC REITs for REITs and there's UPDC for construction. We also have the Julius Berger. So remember, this was tailored according to his risk appetite. If you need me to put it through personally based on your risk appetite and your needs and the amount you have for investments, you can reach out to me to book a one-on-one virtual consultation, or you can use the link in my bio to register and get started. So make sure this video gets to Okoyemi Famake so he can start his investment journey. Ciao.